Good morning, all of you. Today, this is lecture number 3 in front of you for the subject Microwave and Radar Engineering. And the topic of this video lecture is microwave characteristics. We will also discuss in this video lecture some of the advantages of microwaves associated with the important characteristics and also learn why these advantages are coming into existence with some proofs and some antenna terminologies also. We will relate wireless technology and antenna engineering with microwaves and the importance of microwaves in wireless communication. These are some of the characteristics of microwaves. That microwaves are definitely the electromagnetic waves which consist of electric and magnetic field, and both are perpendicular to each other mutually and also to the direction of propagation. The waves are definitely are having very small wavelengths and the frequency is very high. We have already discussed the frequency of the microwaves are from 300 megahertz to 300 gigahertz, resulting in the wavelengths of 1 meter up to 1 mm. They can easily propagate in free space freely. The attenuation in free space is small. That's why they are preferred in wireless communication. Such wave cannot be transmitted through wires because they can penetrate through the dielectric, and although they can flow into the skin of a few metals, but they can totally reflected back from the good conductors. They are reflected and transmitted if incident on a material. Actually, the basic properties, if it's come in the examination, so you should write in a very concise way and up to the point. So these are the 5 properties which you should mention. Apart from, I have already told you, but if you are writing a paper, so accordingly you should write these 5 properties and they are unique in nature. And if you want to elaborate your answer, then further you can write more points by making sub points in each property. The first and the very important property of the microwave is definitely electromagnetic radiation of very short wavelength. If you want, you can elaborate on the what is the wavelength, and you can also write the relationship between the frequency and wavelength, and you can also mention what is the frequency of the microwaves. And you can also write that the microwaves are the waves which are having frequency just lower than the infrared radiation, but the frequency is higher than the radio waves. Okay, so these all the points, as many points as you can write into it. Then they can reflect by conducting surfaces, just like optical waves, since they travel in a straight line. Definitely the microwaves follow a straight line path or the line of sight propagation. They can easily penetrate through anything, and until and unless any kind of metal come into their path or any kind of uh, material which they do not pass through, so they can reflect by the conducting surfaces. Okay, so in this point also you can elaborate many things here, like the transparency property of microwaves and how the transparency property as the microwave can pass through the ionosphere. So this transparency property can leads to the various astronomical environmental studies as well as the space studies along with satellite communication. So you can write all these points inside it. Microwave current flows through a thin outer layer of an ordinary cable. Yes, through an ordinary cable, the current can flow through a thin outer layer, but Definitely, the penetration depth, or you can say the skin depth, reduces as the frequency increases, and since the frequency is very high, so it is not the such waves cannot be able to retain into the skin of the wires. That's why they are radiated in the environment, and that's why they are preferred in wireless communication. So in this, you can write the microwaves cannot pass through the coaxial cable because they can crack the dielectric around it, and they can go into the atmosphere and radiate there. And you can write for viewpoints like any signal which is greater than 1 gigahertz cannot be passed through any cable because the I square losses as well I square R losses and dielectric losses, they come into existence, and that's why such waves can be efficiently transmitted through air as a medium, but not through the medium like you can say like fibers or dielectrics or any confined medium like through the metals they cannot transmit. Microwaves are easily attenuated within the short distance. So this is the microwaves are generally preferred for long distance communication because the wavelength is very small or very short. So such waves are definitely attenuated when you transmit them through small distances. Then they are not reflected by ionosphere. Definitely ionosphere cannot able to reflect the microwaves, but ionosphere can reflect any signal below 1 gigahertz. So, ionospheric propagation is uh, can be possible through radio waves, but not with microwaves. And any frequency which is less than 1 gigahertz is reflected back by the ionosphere to the earth. So there you cannot require any kind of satellite or any kind of repeater at this length. Ionosphere itself acts as a duct, and through multiple reflection it can propagate the signal from one end to another. So the earth stations which are located on the earth source station and destination station can share the signal by using ionosphere as a reflecting medium, but above the 1 gigahertz frequency like used in a microwave, ionosphere is not able to reflect, and the microwave can pass through the ionosphere and can reach the space and never reflect it back to the earth until and unless there is anything which can reflect the microwaves there in the space like stars or any metallic body, planet, or you can say a satellite. Okay, so in ionospheric communication, you can see the radio wave communication. Uh, the towers which are mounted on the earth are very high so that they can receive the ionosphere signal. And in case of the satellite communication, you can also receive the signal direct to home like DTS services and satellite mobiles. Okay, so I think the properties of the microwaves are clear to you. You can write as many points in these properties if you want, because in the coming slides we will going to discuss many details about the advantages of the microwave, which will also cover the properties. So these five properties, if you want to show them in a diagrammatically way, so you can write like this, like electromagnetic radiation. So these are of short wavelength, can reflect by conducting surfaces, current flow through outer layer of conductor, microwaves are easily attenuated in small distances. They are reflected by ion. They're not reflected by ionosphere. Next. So these are the advantages I have written, which are very detailed in nature. Each and every advantage I have discussed in the why it is coming, means what is the reason of such advantages. So this is the advantage of short wavelengths. Okay, any kind of signal which is having a very short wavelength. So if you want to use that signal for data communication like internet, mobile communication, or like television. In television also all the channels are coming. These are also the information which is coming to you. So such informations can be transmitted to you in any form. Okay, so let's suppose that information what we are getting from anywhere, we call it that a data or a information, anything. So you can see that any kind of uh, short wave is able to transmit large number of information, okay, because of its higher frequency and higher bandwidth. And the gain of the antenna is also improved with short wavelength. The size of the antenna is reduced. Data rate becomes faster. Then and you can see that the power consumption in higher frequency is much smaller, and fading effect get reduced drastically because of short wavelengths. And such short wavelengths are means are the boon to certain new technologies like terrestrial communication and satellite communication. And miniaturization can be possible. Also, the usage of the bandwidth is efficient, and large number of channels can be accommodated in small distances. So bandwidth can be utilized efficiently. So now in the next slide, we will discuss these are the main advantages. In the previous slide, I have shown the detailed advantage of short wavelength, advantage of short wavelength. So anybody, if you are writing about the advantages of microwave, so you should write like this: say higher bandwidth. In higher bandwidth, you can write many points, and better directive properties, greater radiated power, power requirement are low at microwave frequency, and transparency property. Okay, so let's suppose we are discussing first about the higher bandwidth. So this higher bandwidth, why this higher bandwidth is so important for us? So let's see why. Since higher bandwidth means the data transmission is taking place at higher frequency, then only we are getting the higher bandwidth. So this higher bandwidth will able to accommodate more number of channels and more number of information. So you are able to transmit large amount of information at the same time. Okay, so first advantage you get is a large information capacity, and second is the larger data rate transmission. Okay, means the capacity of information is also high, as well as the speed of transmission is also high. Means large number of channel, or you can say the large number of data, large number of information can be transmitted from one place to another place, with high data rate without any losses, okay, with high efficiency. So you can see in the present days, like if you're using the internet speed have reached up to this gigabytes per second, gbps. You get your data in gbs. Okay, like 1 GB per day you are using. This is a very large amount of data and the speed. And why this large amount of data you are able to utilize and access? Just because you are having the faster speed of transmission. Okay, the faster speed of reception with you, then only you are able to access such a large amount of data. Okay, this is like I'm going somewhere, and I have to handshake with 100 persons, and if I can handshake 100 people, like one second per person. So 100 seconds is required to handshake all. but as my speed increases, I am able to access more people. So you can just understood speed is also very important. If the speed is not there, then you can't access. If the data is there but you can't able to access that data, it will take so much of time to download one file or to upload one file, and this can hindrance your uh, uh, sharing of information with others. Okay, so now let us talk about what is information capacity. So information capacity of a channel is the amount of information that can be passed through a channel in a given period of time. Definitely, in how much time you are sharing, how much amount of information, it matters a lot. So this is called the information capacity. So in this, time is also one of the factor. Not only the data quantity, but the time required is also one of the factor. It is ultimately related to the bandwidth. It is how it is ultimately related to the bandwidth. There is a Hartley law here. I have shown that information carrying capacity is directly proportional to the bandwidth. So, is bandwidth doubles, the information capacity also increases to the same amount. Okay, so the larger is the bandwidth of the channel, faster signal you can transmit, because the signal changes with a faster rate. And when a signal changes at a faster rate, you are able to uh, means you are able to code it, means large number of digits, and you can able to identify large number of digits. Okay, and the another important thing we are talking about is the data transmission rate, which can be shown with a Nyquist rate. Nyquist rate is nothing but the maximum signaling rate. Signaling rate is nothing but the number of symbol, code, characters transmitted per second. For example, so you can see here the signaling rate is just two times the bandwidth. So let's suppose if the bandwidth is 5 megahertz. 5 megahertz means 5 into 10 to the power 6 hertz. So this 5 into 10 to the power 6 hertz means you are able to transmit 5 into 2 means 10 into 10 to the power 6 bits, or you can send symbols of code, whatever you want, per second. So 10 million symbols per second will be your speed. So as your frequency increases, so in case of gigahertz, you can see here how the data rate can be affected directly with the frequency, or you can see the bandwidth. So you can say if the bandwidth is in gigahertz, so definitely more number of channels will be there. Okay, so this is called the Nyquist rate, or you can say that the Nyquist rate shows the relationship between uh, any uh, any channel um, uh, is speed and bandwidth. Okay, or the maximum number of symbols that it can be resolved in per second. Okay. Next is the advantages due to larger antenna gain. We have already written there in the advantages slide, like you first point is higher bandwidth, and second is the larger antenna gain. So larger antenna gain is possible in high frequencies, like in microwaves, which are having very high frequencies. So whenever such frequencies are transmitted by any antenna, the antenna is able to produce large gain. Means antenna is able to deliver the maximum signal to the destination. So the gain formula is given here. It is 4 pi eta a by lambda square, where eta is the antenna efficiency, which is the power input to the antenna upon, which is the power radiated by the antenna. Efficiency is always output upon input. So the power radiated is the output power. and the input power which is given to the antenna. So whatever the power which is giving to the antenna, the radiated power is always slightly less than the input power because of certain losses like feeder losses and other I square R loss or radiation loss. So this efficiency is nothing but P radiated upon Pin, means power radiated by the antenna upon power input to the antenna. And efficiency is always in the range from 0 to 1. You can see that no antenna is having the 100% efficiency because of losses. And definitely, if you give 1 watt power to any antenna, maybe the output power will be zero point 0.7 watt. Okay, so you can say that the efficiency is 70%. Now, antenna aperture. Is the antenna aperture? Aperture is the area of the antenna which is receiving the signals or transmitting the signals or radiating the signals. Here you can see this is a parabolic antenna, and the parabolic dish is having diameter d, and this diameter d uh, uh, if you take out the area of the diameter d, so you can get pi d square. So this pi d square is the physical area of the antenna. So this is the physical area. Antenna aperture is the physical area. If it is a parabolic antenna, so it is pi d square, where d is the diameter of the parabolic antenna, like you are having at your home. The dish TV, it is having, I think, diameter of 2 to 4 feet, and it operates in a KU band. So so definitely, as the frequency increases, you can see the diameter definitely is smaller, comparatively smaller, and lambda is the wavelength in meter square. So this is efficiency is unitless, A is in meter square, lambda is also in meter square, gain is a unitless quantity. So the what are the advantages of having higher gain? So I have written here there are various advantages. You can see here in microwaves, the lambda is very less. Lambda is very less. Since the value of lambda is very less, the gain definitely is very high. And if you get this if you get this high gain, you get these three important advantages. Okay, so uh, from the transmitter side and from the receiving side, both are having associated advantages. If you see the transmitting antenna, the high gain means higher radiated power and the particular direction. And definitely, if you are talking about the receiving antenna, so high gain capture more signal. Okay, so means the signal strength at the receiver will be very high. High gain in transmission and reception reduces the chances of interference. So what is interference? Let's suppose if this is the receiving antenna, and any kind of like signal come in, any kind of interference come into its path, like any object, so it will block the signal path. Okay, or you can say the signal will be faded because of this obstacle. So whenever the frequency is very high, the certain obstacles and interferences or other signals also which are present in the environment will not affect your transmission transmission and reception, because of high gains. Okay, so these are all the associated advantages of higher larger antenna gain. Okay, next slide. Now, importance of higher frequency. The third point there is high frequency. So, why we use high frequency and why we always prefer higher frequency in transmission and reception? I have already means shown you whenever the frequency high, lambda is less and gain is high. So I've already discussed the advantage of higher gain. But let's discuss what is the effect of higher frequencies on the dimension of the antenna. Definitely, whenever you are talking about the frequency, the dimension of the antenna directly related to the wavelength. So whenever the frequency is very high, the wavelength is low, and for the antenna to resonate, the antenna length should be at least half wavelength. Means L of antenna is equal to lambda by 2. So if you see the relationship between wavelength and frequency, you will find lambda is equal to C by F. Or you can also see that F is equal to C by lambda, and lambda should be twice of antenna length. Okay, so whatever will be of the frequency you want to receive and transmit, the wavelength should be comparable to the antenna length. So if you want antennas to be very small, then you are able to transmit you or receive very high frequency efficiently. So this is the advantages. Higher frequency automatically reduce the antenna size. Okay, and also uh, antenna size, definitely when antenna size is reduced, the cost of construction, maintenance and handling also reduces. So definitely everybody wants the miniaturization, and the new technologies wants miniaturization. That's why you're able to get the satellite signal direct to home and DTS services you're getting in your television, just because you're able to mount the antenna at your home. But if we talk about the previous situation, those antennas are of kilometers or few hundred meters in length. So how could you mount in your home? Okay, if you talk about the mobile, the mobile is also having on-chip antenna, and it is very small in size, in few mm. It can't even see it because it is on chip, just because of high frequencies. Okay, advantage due to line of sight communication. I've already told you, if the microwaves is transmitted by any antenna, any signal which is greater than 1 gigahertz, it can transmit. If it is transmitted to the ionosphere, it can penetrate the ionosphere and can enters the space of or the universe and cannot return back until and unless there is any metallic body like satellite which is placed 35,786 kilometers above the surface of the earth, so that it can receive the signal by its receiving antenna and retransmit back the signal by its transmitting antenna back to the earth, to the destination end of the signal. Means this is the source and this is the destination, and both source and destination are far beyond the curvature of the earth, and line of sight communication is not possible because of the curvature of the earth. And if you want to install repeaters on the earth, it will require lot of repeaters, thousands of repeaters, more than thousands of repeaters, and the cost of construction will be very high. So what you will do, you will mount a satellite on the space, and this satellite will act as a interface between the source earth station and the destination earth station, and it is able to establish a line of sight communication between source as well as destination when the source and destination are very far apart from each other. Through satellite you can transmit any data to any part of the earth or to any part of the globe without any uh, range restriction. So this line of sight communication is also having various advantages. Like if there is line of sight communication, so there is no effect of fading on the signal because no repeaters were there, or you can say there is only single repeater or amplifier, which is a satellite. Satellite is also having certain amplifiers, transponder, a lot of processing takes place inside satellite also. So even if the signal is faded because of the rain droplets and clouds, So the satellite is able to compensate for all the noises and amplify the signal and improve the signal strength and retransmit it back to the earth. Okay, so line of sight communication can definitely takes place because of high frequencies, and at high frequency the variation due to the change in the medium are negligible. Change in the medium, like for example here the atmosphere is very dense, and here the atmosphere become very rare, or you can say the atmosphere is light because of warm air, or maybe here the clouds are present. So there is a change in the medium throughout the path, the link, or the microwave link. So, but at higher frequency, such interferences or change in the medium will not affect your signal. That's why the fading can be reduced. Now, line of sight communication is able to incorporate a reliability to your system, because definitely the signal which is transmitted and received by the satellite and retransmitted back to the receiver, there are a lot of coding which is done here, and security is also enhanced. At the same time, there are a lot of multiplexing done with a particular frequencies and the bandwidth, selected bandwidth. So the receiver is also having certain filters, as well as the transmitter can modulate the signal by incorporating various carrier frequency. So the signal reach the dedicated destinations only. Better directive properties. Directive properties are associated with the antenna. The directive properties, like the directivity is one of the directive properties, and gain is also the directive properties. Let's talk about the directivity. Directivity is directly related to the antenna gain. The gain is equals to K into directivity, where K accounts for losses due to I square R, or you can say I square R losses, heat losses. K is from 0 to 1. It is like if it is 1 means there is no loss in transmission, and if it is from 0 to like zero point 0.5, so means only 50% of the gain the antenna is able to deliver uh, because of losses. And if the k is nearly equal to like near about 1, like zero point 0.7, zero point 0.8, so means the losses are only 20 percent. Okay, so this how the gain and directivity is related. So this is the relationship of this I have explained about the directivity in terms of gain, but actually seeing the physical nature of the antenna. Any antenna which is directive is able to transmit maximum signal in a particular direction, and this direction of signal which it can transmit uh, means the maximum signal in a particular direction. This is called the directivity. Okay, like this directivity is directly related to the beam width. Beam width means uh, here uh, the power is half. For example, this is P, so this is P by 2. And any signal which is having power less than P by 2 will not come under the beam width of the antenna. Beam width means it consists all the signals which are greater than P by 2 in strength. And whenever you want to place a receiver, you should place the receiver in this direction only. Otherwise, the receiver will not give the will not receive the higher signal strength. The signal strength will be less. So this is called the directivity, the particular angle of the antenna at which it can transmit maximum signal. And if it is able to transmit maximum signal in a particular direction, so in rest of the direction the signal will be low or nearly zero. For a good antenna, the beam width should be is very fine or less, and the directivity should be high, so that very sharp beam width can result to a very high signal strength transmission and reception. So any antenna which is transmitting in all the direction, like 360 degree, it is transmitting in 360 degree, so automatically the directivity or gain will reduce. Okay, but if it transmit only one direction, so it will concentrate all the signal in one direction only, so that all the signal with higher strength can transmit uh, only around a few degrees, or only around half power point, and a very small area of the main lobe. Okay, so this beam width is directly proportional to the wavelength of the antenna. So as the frequency increases, you can see that the higher frequency results in shorter wavelengths, and shorter wavelengths results in a smaller beam width, or you can say a very sharp beam width. Sharp beam width improves the directive properties of the antenna. So in case of the microwaves, the directivity is also very high and very efficient. They can transmit a particular signal in one direction. Then only the line of sight transmission is possible, because the antenna become highly directive. So we can point our antenna to the destination or to the satellite very easily, according to the location of the satellite, where the satellite is actually located. You can turn your antenna angle, and you can align the antenna, your transmitting antenna, to the receiving antenna of the satellite, and this how line of sight communication become very efficient. So the sharp radiation beamwidth is required for line of sight communication. And in case if you are using low frequency, so you need a very large antenna for establishing line of sight communication by sharp radiation beamwidth. So in previous technologies, if, for example, if you are using radio waves, the antenna sizes are very large. Okay, and in case of microwave communication, the antenna size are reduced, because at higher frequency you can easily get sharp beam width by using directional antenna, and by using the higher frequencies. So the higher frequency can automatically improve the directive property of the antenna, can reduce the beam width, increase the gain and directivity. So this is the very important property of your microwaves. Greater radiated power. See, radiated power is also directly proportional to gain. So definitely, if our higher frequencies are improving the directivity, so directive properties are improved, gain will be improved. If gain will be improved, the radiated power will be high. If radiated power will be high, the effect of the interferences and other losses will be not prominent to your signal, and the noise is not comparable to the signal. The noise is very small as compared to the signal strength. So such noise will not affect the signal quality, and such signal can easily be distinguished from the noise. So power radiated by the antenna is a function of frequency, current, and antenna dimension. It is written here mu naught I square pi square L by lambda whole square, where L is the length of the antenna, lambda is the wavelength. So definitely lambda is very small. So definitely power radiated will be very high. And if the power radiated will be high, the gain will be high. So the gain high and directivity should be high. So then the fading, interference and all other losses will be easily compensated. Transparency property. I have already told you about the transparency property, that microwaves can easily penetrate through the ionosphere. This leads to the following advantages. I had already told you, if the microwave penetrates through the ionosphere, they can reach the space. So they can really, if they reach the space, definitely they strike some stars, planets, and all, and they return back to the Earth. So whenever they strike with some solid object or some metals or something, So they are reflected back to the. So we can study the re-emitted wave nature. So astronomical studies can be done by microwaves. Okay, satellite communication. I've already told you many things about the satellite communication and environmental studies. Okay, these are also some other things. This eta naught is the intrinsic impedance of the microwaves. So you can go through them. And if you're having any doubt in this particular lecture, you can catch me in my through my email ID bekshamimkhatun@dei.ac.in. So I will be able to handle your doubts there. And definitely the next DHA will be on this video lecture only. So please go through this video lecture um, again and again, and try to able to grab all the points which I have already told you in this video lecture. Thank you for being with me. Have a nice day.